back to Boots and Bunny Homestead. Today we've got to go out here to the garden and we've got to tie up and prune our tomatoes. You guys saw in the Day in the Life weekend edition that I got these planted. Now I got them planted in the ground the week before Memorial Day weekend because I knew we were going to be gone, and come out here and we took care of everything. Well, now since we come back, we've got a darn old jungle going on. They've done laid over, they done got so heavy, I've got to get them pruned. So in that other video, you seen how I planted them as deep as I could get. And now I'm going to show you how I tie these up and prune them. Also, one other thing I told you guys I would show you, my pest control. Now you can see I've got all my tomatoes in a line here, and there's one right there. There's a basil. I plant a basil there, and then right there, it's hard to do on the camera, right there are marigolds. So I sprinkle basil and marigolds amongst my tomatoes, and that's how I get rid and keep away the pests. Last year I did not have one tomato worm. The year before that I only had 2, and they were actually planted along what was the back deck right there. You can go back and see that video. It's 2 years old now, I believe. And we trellised them on the back porch off the back deck, and I had 1, maybe 2 tomato worms on those. Other than that, what I'm doing is working, I guess, so I'm not going to change anything. So we've got basil and marigolds planted down through here, and I've already pruned and tied these up, but these are the worst of the tomatoes, and I wanted to go through here because there's a couple of things I found I wanted to go over with you guys, show you how I do it, and because there's a lot of new people on here that I want to teach how I do things, and if you do them the same way, so be it, and if not, that's okay too. But anyways, I'm gonna show you how I prune mine and tie them up. All right, let me sit down on my little stool here. So this is our first victim here, and these are pink jazz tomatoes. Now I like to do the one stalk method, which means I find the center stalk down here and I follow it up, cutting all the extra leaves and everything off. And I actually prune up till they get to here, and then after that I prune them as they kind of die back. So we're gonna go in here and prune these off. Let me scoot you guys up some. Okay, now amongst all the leaves, I hope you guys can see, I've got to find the main stalk, which is right here. Let me cut this one off, get that out of your way. Okay, so here's my main stalk, and I'm gonna go up through here and cut anything off that isn't the main stalk. But right off, I see a problem you guys may run into. Right here, it actually, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, right here it actually splits off and is making 2 tomato plants because these are so much older. You can do one of 2 things. You can leave this one and prune it as well and keep this one. But right now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one before it gets too big. So all I'm going to do, without damaging the tomato plant, I'm going to go right up against the stalk and cut that one off. Now, if you guys need another plant, go ahead and prune these leaves off, plant this in the ground up to here, and just try to leave just the top, and that's another tomato plant. But I don't need any more right now, so I'm going to continue pruning. Another thing that you will also see here is that a couple of these limbs have already gotten big. They're trying to produce blooms. I don't want them. I want blooms on the top. So I'll go ahead and cut off all these extra leaves because I'm not trying to grow leaves, I'm trying to grow tomatoes. So we're going to cut those off. Now, whenever you get up here, you will see these 3 right here. Now let me explain. This is your limb, this is your sucker, and this is the top. As you can see, the top here it's still putting off leaves. It's still putting off growth. You do not want to cut that off because you will actually make your plant stop growing. It has to have a top in order to continue to grow up because it only produces out the top. Now, with these suckers right here, you will see it's kind of offset. So this is trying to make another plant. A lot of them will be right here in this little armpit, not up here, okay? But this is still a sucker. You can still clip this off and plant it as well and have another plant. So you only have to buy one tomato plant or start one tomato seed, and then you can use all the suckers on your plants to create more tomato plants. But I don't want to do that. I want all this gone. So I'm going to come in here. Let me cut this limb off. Now you can either pop this off or you can cut it off. I'm just going to cut it off. And if you want to plant this, sucker, just come in here and plant it where the leaves are sticking out the top on the ground, and all these little hairy things will make roots. So there's your another tomato plant. You can actually start these and sell them if you would like. People around here don't buy tomato plants, so I don't do that. Now, we've got this up to the trellis here, and this is bent because it had done laid over like the rest of them, and it was reaching for the sun. So as I clip this to the cattle panel, it will actually straighten back up, okay? Now the clips that I use, I'll put a link in the bottom of the description box. This is the kind that I use. I ordered 150 in a bag, and these are just garden clips. This is what they look like. And I have used these for the last 3 years. And I have reused some. As you can see down through here, I still got some hanging on the cattle panels. I would not leave them on the cattle panels. I thought I was going to leave them on there and reuse them this year, but it did not work out because they dry rotted. And now whenever you touch them, they just fall to pieces. So take them off every year. And I will leave the link down below, but these are really easy to use. You can actually do these one-handed. So you just pull the plant up to wherever you want it to be attached to. And then you're simply just going to put the clip around your tomato plant and your post or stake or cattle panel and squeeze it until you get that clip in there. And these being kind of small, I'm just going to barely tack them right there. As they get taller, I will move these around. But this one has to kind of straighten back up before it will actually hold. So it's kind of got it in a chokehold right now. And as these straighten back up tomorrow, they will hold it a little bit better. And then that way I can guide this up the cattle panel as I need to. But this one already has blooms on it, and I've got to go down through here and do the rest of all these jungly plants, and it's starting to sprinkle. So let me take the camera inside. I'm gonna get this done and show you what it looks like afterwards. Before and after. All done. Just got a couple piles that I have to clean up, and tomatoes are pruned. All we got to do is come out here and keep the clips on them, move them up as they grow. I usually leave one towards the bottom of the panel, and then as they grow, I just kind of sporadically step them up because I don't want to just keep clipping them like every single one. I'll just use them up, move them up probably every third one, so that way I'm not using a whole lot of them. So tomatoes are pruned. They are now on their way to be trellised. And now these will outgrow the cattle panels, and we've even talked about putting one across the top so they will be able to just kind of lay over that, which is kind of what we did back here. It went up and over, and they still run out of room. So anyways, I like to have fun, grow big stuff, and see what happens. So, also, I want to tell you a tip on getting the tomato gunk off your hands would be lemon juice or vinegar. I always use lemon juice because I don't want to smell like vinegar. But you can go in and just put some lemon juice or vinegar on your fingers, kind of rub it, and it'll come right off, and then you can just wash your hands. So anyways, I thank you guys for coming out to the garden today, and until next time, we will see you then. Bye guys.